Hi there folks, it's Adam here. Waited a little bit for the Alienware Aurora R6, but it did come in a week early. Dell was saying I would have it by June 29th, and it would be the 22nd today, so that was pretty nice to see. They gave me a call a day before it came, so I was able to leave a note for the Purelator person saying I would tip them if they called me when it came here, so I didn't have to drive all the way to the Purelator place. And Buddy was really cool. Actually, he wouldn't accept my tip when I got home, so that was really nice. Anyways, this is exactly how it came, with the little guy there on the side. Might be a box in a box, not too sure, but like to unbox it with you here. So haven't seen it, haven't touched it, nothing. Just got home and ready to roll. So, big surprise, it's a box in a box. Pretty cool. It's got almost a blueprint, engineering style drawing of the case on the outside of the box here. It's hard to tell, but it's like black on black, glossy over flat, so pretty neat packaging. Okay, so it's a box and a box and a box of almost nothing. I opted out of the keyboard, I opted out of the mouse and all that stuff. I saw some people using it and reviewing them and so on, and kind of thought it was a little bit hurting for spending any more. So, not a big, huge mechanical keyboard aficionado or anything like that, but I'm going to start out with a Logitech G910 Orion Spark, and I already had a Razer Diamondback mouse, so I'm going to see how that setup works. There's no need to have any more keyboards and mice. Anyways, I've got an Alienware quick start guide there, warranty, safety, and regulatory information there. A resource DVD, so I don't know if that's to basically when you're going to format and try to redo everything, if that's going to be a DVD to put all the Alienware bloatware and all the goodies back on to do Windows, or if it's like an instruction manual on DVD, or what it is exactly. We'll get into that on the next video there. Power cord. Pretty standard stuff, flat cable, 3-pin obviously, 120 volt at least where I'm at. Okay there. Alright, that's what it is. That is absolutely tiny from what I anticipated it to be. I could never really tell how small it was going to be. It seemed heavy, the box seemed huge, but the packaging is actually very nice. You could have a shock basically anywhere on the side of the box, from any angle, corners, what have you, and it looks like it's pretty well protected all around, so that's pretty impressive. They've definitely spent enough money on packaging to not spend any more money on replacing your components when they don't work, so that was a smart business choice, I think, on their part. It doesn't look like a very easy thing to get out with one hand. So I'm just going to set this down, slide the bad boy out, and I'll be back in 2 seconds here. Okay, so I've got it out, and like I say, it is really small compared to what I expected for something that houses this much hardware in it. Really. Let's try to unpackage this thing without dropping it completely on the floor. Easy does it. Sorry, I'm sure those are great looking angles. Okay. It was actually packaged sideways by the look of it, so I'm just going to stand it up. And that's pretty much that. Wow, absolutely tiny. For a gaming rig, that is not certainly what you'd expect. I'm trying to figure out how to give you an idea of the size of it. But wow, that'll pretty much fit anywhere. Here's a Bic lighter, for example, and you know, it's only 2, 3, 4 or so Bic lighters deep, and I think that'll give you somewhat of an idea really how small it actually is. I didn't realize it would be so small. I've never heard anybody really mention the size when they opened it, but I was expecting a, you know, a mid tower to maybe full size, and certainly that's not anything close to what we've got here. So anyways, check it out here. It's got 4 USB ports on the very front. Now it says SS for super speed, although they're not colored blue, which is interesting. So I'm gonna say these are USB 3.0 without being able to tell yet. You got headphone mic. There is a laptop style Blu-ray writer here. So you push it and the little thing will pop out. It's not like a full-size 5 1/4 drive like you'd find on most computers. But hey, it should still work fine. There's an Alienware guy on the front that, by the reviews I've watched, will light up, and you should be able to control the color independently from the LED bars that are on both sides of the case. I hope they're on both sides, because usually windows and lights are only on the left side, and the way my subwoofer goes, if I have the computer pointing to me the way I'd like, I will only really see the front, right, and rear. So it's nice to see that they've got some accents on both sides depending on how you want to set it up. So that's pretty cool. Looks like some intake, and then I believe some exhaust on the top, although I'm not sure how the air flows exactly. It's got a pretty nice little piece here on the top. It is plasticky and kind of cheap feeling, but it appears to be able to bear all the weight of the system, so, you know, nice handle there. Come around to the back. I opted for the 850 watt power supply, which includes liquid cooling. You can't get it with the 450 or 475 or whatever it was, I can't recall. But I'm going to do some dual video cards and do some upgrades maybe in the next coming couple years, so I wanted to have a power supply that would be able to support that. It looks like there's optical audio and SP diff, tons of USB action going on. A little bit hard to tell because they aren't color coded, but I'm going to say we've got probably 6 USB 3.0s there, an Ethernet. I didn't opt for the killer Ethernet, although I think the onboard one, don't exactly know. I think it's an Intel, but whatever the case is, I noticed the Bluetooth version was one version older if I went with the killer, and I thought Bluetooth already sucks pretty hard, so I better go with the newest version of it just in case there was any bugs that needed to be worked out. I don't know Bluetooth very well. I just stream low quality music over it and so on. Then it looks like there's a USB, actually these are all probably 2, and then 3 here, as these particular ones are color coded. The other ones said SS on the front but weren't color coded. The ones here do not say that. Hard to focus on that, but it doesn't say SS. These ones here do say SS and are coded blue, so I'm going to say 3.0. That there appears to be USB 3.1 Type C, which is pretty cool because I've got an Android Pixel
XL, so I can go direct on that. File transfer will be ridiculously quick, and in the future, who knows with 3.1 hard drives or how that's going to pan out, but that's pretty cool. Surround sound, analog audio inputs, and then, what do we have here? It's a GTX 1080. So I'm seeing 1, 2, 3 display ports, which has kind of been an up and down standard over the last few years. Apparently they're a little bit bigger now, but right there you could have 3 DisplayPort monitors and just go to town without jumping anything or converting any adapters and all that stuff, which is cool. HDMI port is there, and it looks like a DVI-D with just the single slot off to the side of the pins. A little lock here to open the side, and then the power supply, which I'm sure you've probably seen 100 times, actually swings out on a hinge style bracket so that you can have access to the interior components. In this unboxing, I'm not going to open the case at the moment. I might do it on the next one, but as far as what you get in the case, or the box itself rather, looks pretty cool. It is extremely small. The depth this way, if you can see my hand, this way is extremely small. Like, I honestly don't think you have a very good perspective of it, but let's say I wear size 13 shoes, and here's my foot, more than way over halfway, almost the whole case really. So the depth of it is extremely slim. It's about as tall or so as a mid case, or a mid tower. And then the width is pretty standard, really, of most cases. So that's the biggest surprise for me, is actually the size is so small. So you'll be able to fit it almost anywhere you want, probably. And none of those "that's what she said" jokes or anything else. But that's pretty much her. I did the 7700K. I did the 16 gig RAM at, I believe, 4200. No, excuse me, 2400. The idea there is just to throw another 16 gig chip in it when the time comes. I did one 1080 as I mentioned before, so I'll do another one maybe in the next couple years, depending on how games are and how things run. From there, I mentioned the 850 with the liquid cooling. What else is optional that I did on this thing? I did opt for the 1 year accidental damage thing, where you can spill stuff in it or drop it or whatever, just because it's a decent investment that, at least for the first year, I'd like to make sure no matter what happens, if, goodness forbid, anything does, that it's going to be covered. Geez, I don't think there's a whole lot of other optional stuff. I did buy a hat with it just to have that. I was going to buy a polo shirt, but thought, 50, 60 bucks Canadian. Didn't go with the polo, but I might in the future. What else is optional in here? I got the 256 gig onboard SSD, so like a PCI style SSD, and a 2-tera good old platter drive with, I believe, 7200 RPM. Couldn't imagine who makes it, but it's probably like a, Seagate, Maxell, or Hitachi. Something like that would make it for them. Maybe Western Digital, and then it's probably rebranded. I'm going to open it up on the next video and we'll check out some of the components, but yeah, that's pretty much that, the way I've configured it. So looks good, looks undamaged, looks clean, so I'm happy with that, happy with the packaging, and like I say, happy with the Purelator guy who wouldn't even take the tip when he called me and waited in my driveway for me to come, because it was signature only delivery. So anyways, that's that. Thanks a lot for watching, folks, and till the next one.